223. We just traded an even 1-for-1. Got another quick unboxing here. Wanted to pick some of these up. And what these are, it's from Hornady, as you can see. They are rail covers, Picatinny rail covers. They go over the rail sections of your firearms, whether if you've got a quad rail or whatever, they're set up to where you can have them on each side or whatever you want. I saw that Hornady had these, and I wanted to pick them up and just see how they looked and how good quality they were. We'll see how they fit here later on, but everything seems to be fairly nice on them. So that's it. Time for another unboxing. Sorry about the noise. I got the heater on. We just got in from the gun rights rally in Nashville. It is the 19th. Alrighty. Traded some 44 Magnum cases for these 223. We just traded an even 1-for-1, which was good for both of us. So I think, I don't know, it's kind of toss up as to who got the better deal. May have been me, but for both of us, I needed this and he needed what I had, so that's it. So just a little extra 223 brass, which incidentally looks a lot better than any of the brass that I cleaned. This was tumbled in a tumbler, whereas what I use is the ultrasonic cleaner, and I'll get a tumbler one day. But for now, alright. And the next thing, let's see what all we got here. Alright. This is going to be part of the TDC AR pistol. This is actually the plug that goes into the end of the carbon fiber handguard. Got another gas block. This is a 23 round or 22 round magazine extension for the Smith & Wesson M&P. This is like what I run on mine. This takes your magazine from a 17 round to a 22 round magazine. Got 2 of those in. This is going to go on the Stag. This is a swivel swing adapter. And this is set up where it will mount on the rail. And then you've got your quick disconnect, comes with it. And in order to make this fit to the contour of my rail, I may have to edit this angle here, that curvature a little bit, but that won't be a big deal. That is actually the Precision Reflex brand. Been buying a lot of Precision Reflex stuff lately. This is a rifle length buffer that I'm going to run in the 300 Blackout. See how it runs with the rifle length setup in it. Heavier buffer. And here are some Hornady Monoflex 30 cal. These are going to be for my 3030. I'm going to do a little, hadn't really hand loaded anything for it yet, so I wanted to get some decent rounds so I can hand load for it and see how it'll shoot with some of these in it. I could buy these from Hornady already loaded, but they wouldn't be my loads. My loads. Let's just say that if you were to get shot with one of these, you'd be having a bad day. They're a hollow point, and if I believe so, they're a gilding material also. But they're 140 grain, 308 caliber. They got the flexible tip, so you can load them into. They're set up where you can load them into a tubular magazine, and you don't have to worry about having primer strikes within the tubular magazine. That's why most of your 30-30 rounds look like they're a flat point and a lead tip. That's to protect the primer of the round that is in front of it in the magazine tube. So, anyways, there's that unboxing. Thanks for watching. Well, it's time for another unboxing. Let's see what we've got here. I don't remember what this one is. Need to sharpen my knife. More of the green stuff. Ha ha ha, yeah. I've been waiting on this one. Well, this is nothing special here. Black Hawk Serpent 2. This is for Smith & Wesson M&P. And this is a right-handed version. This is actually going to be for my father. I've finally gotten him to do the transition from revolver, which he's never been a big handgun person. He's hunted all his life and run lots of rifles, some shotgun stuff. And I got him to take the plunge into just straight to an M&P full size. Serpent 2 is, the thing about it is there's a lot of controversy about this Serpent 2 and the trigger finger retention button. I love it. I prefer it. I like it. As long as you train properly and employ this properly, this is a great holster. If you're someone that automatically puts your finger on the trigger and you don't train otherwise, this might cause you some issues, but really, I mean, I don't see it happening. You just gotta be mindful and be careful. But this, with a gun that does not have an external manually activated safety, like a thumb safety or something like that, like a Glock or an M&P, having a holster with positive retention, with a level 2 retention type deal like this, gives you, it's almost like this holster is a safety. It's, really you and your trigger finger are the safety, but this is something. You can't get to the trigger and depress it unless you get the gun out of the holster and depress that button, so it's kind of like a safety. Next thing, I have this is just flat spring steel. I don't know how much you'll be able to see of it there. It's just long lengths of flat spring steel to where I can make my own flat springs. I've got a shotgun that I'm going to have to recontour and redo a spring for, and I'll be able to use that. That's just that won't fit in my spring assortment box, but it's going to be part of it. And this is the big thing. This is what I've been waiting for. This right here is the Apex Tactical. This block is designed, see, there's Apex Tacticals card. I'm a dealer for I can get all their products, give you a good deal on them. This block is designed to hold your handgun while you perform different functions on it. And forgive me, I'll have to figure it out here because it's brand new to me. But it goes something, let's see here. Basically it's designed to where it will hold your frame. It holds everything in place, and you've got these right here adjust, and you can actually, Apex has got a video on YouTube about this and employing it. Again, like I say, forgive me, I'm just, you know, talking out my butt here because I've not used it. You just saw me open it. But anyways, your firearm will fit directly in there, and it has retention on it. I don't know. I'll have to look it up and figure it out. But you've got a spot here for tearing down your striker springs. It'll hold your striker while you depress it to get your springs off of there. There's a number of different functions that are made into this, and the moldings and everything that you're able to do. But it gives you places to hold it where you can knock different pins through and everything. It is just a phenomenal. It's supposed to be a phenomenal tool for working on the M&P. And I believe that it will work for a Glock as well. I'll have to look and see. But I'll do a knowledgeable video on this once I've used it a little bit and tell you my thoughts on it. If you want to go ahead and find something out about it, go to Apex Tactical's YouTube page, or just look up Apex Tactical, and it's called, let's see here, well, Armorer's Block, M&P Glock. Very, very nice piece of kit. Can't wait to use it. Thanks for watching. Alright. There I go again. Starting with alright. My wife gives me a hard time. She says that I always say that. I say it all the time in my videos. Alright, whatever. This is another unboxing. I'm pretty sure I know what this is. It's the first little bit of sample steel for the new TDC range. I believe that's what it is. Yeah. Like I say, I just trying out a company, some different options before we put in a bunch of steel. And I'd eventually like to be able to put in a bunch. Now these are ar500. These are 5-inch plates. They are 500. These are set up to be hangers, but I'm going to mount these. If I can get this design that I want to do, I've not seen it out there yet for the hanging system, for the mounting system. If I can get it refined where it works good and it's safe, I may look into marketing some of our own targets, because I got a pretty nifty way. Nifty. There's a new word. Pretty nifty way of mounting these. Now these are, like I said, these are ar500, and the important thing about that is that with the ar500, it is ballistic grade. They're 3/8 ar500 steel. If anyone is interested, or they're looking for some different ar500 steel, I can get it for you and get you a pretty good deal on it. There's a lot of things that go along with shooting steel that you've got to be careful. You got to be safe with.
But if anyone is interested in getting some, let me know. It's very reasonable, very reasonable. There's a lot of steel out there that's expensive, but you're talking about a full setup and everything. If you're fairly adept at manual stuff and everything, you can pick up these plates. I can get these plates for you and throw some chains on them and hang them, and you're ready to go. If you were to bolt them, you've got to use carriage bolts, and they need to be at an angle. That's the important thing. If you bolt them, they've got to be at an angle down. That way, whenever you fire, the bullet will bounce and go straight down into the ground. They cannot be up like that, and they can't be flat. They need to be at an angle like that. If they're hanging, yeah, they're flat, but as soon as it hits, it's gonna swing a little bit. The problem you run into with a hanger like that, especially these small ones, if they're hangers, is if you're rapid firing and you fire one like that, and then that thing swings back and you fire the next one and you hit it while it's like that, well, then that round's going to go straight up or somewhere. Ideally, you've got enough room and land that doesn't matter, but it's just all things to think about when you're shooting steel. If you're shooting steel up close, you need to be running frangible ammunition, varmint loads. Like if you're running an AR and you're wanting to shoot steel fairly close, I don't care if you've got a 1 in 5 twist barrel. If you're up close, 25, 30 yards, somewhere in that area, you're doing some up close carbine training. Which, if you're running a gun with a super twist, you're probably not going to be running it up close. But the point I'm getting at here is that even if you've got one of these high twist rate barrels, like 1 in 7 or something like that, like some of these SIGs and different stuff have, and where they're supposed to run a 62 grain or something like that, you can run a 45 grain or 40 grain varmint round out of it if you're shooting up close, because you get the frangible characteristics of that round, and for no more distance than you're dealing with, accuracy is really not going to be that big of a deal. You're training, you're working on your skills. It's target to target, quick acquisition, stuff like that. You're going to be able to do everything you need to do with the rounds that aren't really ideal for that barrel, but a lot of times those rounds are cheaper and they're more on the frangible side. Now, if you can buy just regular frangible ammunition, and it's pretty expensive, or frangible rounds to reload, but again, you can utilize some of the lighter varmint stuff in place of that. But you got to do your research and see which ones, like the varmint grenades, different things like that. See which ones exhibit those same frangible characteristics, and get your box, or get your few, load them up, see how they do at your barrel at close range. If you're running a 1 in 9, a 1 in 10, something like that, something on everything, you can run whatever you want on the lower side. But 1 in 9, 1 in 8 twist barrel, 1 in 7. You're supposed to stay on the higher range of your weight, but it's just an option. So anyways, if anyone's interested in any steel, hit me up, let me know. We're going to be getting this hooked up on some stands and start shooting. Appreciate it. Alright, here we're going to do an unboxing. This is some equipment that I have purchased. I've got a heat treating oven that I'm in the process of swapping it over from the older archaic style heat cones as a temperature control, and I am going to change it out with this equipment here. Now what this is a PID temperature controller with programmable ramps, which means that you can program your soak and ramp times. Means you can have your temperature go to, say, 1200 degrees, and then after a certain amount of time it'll go down to 600 degrees. Then it'll go back up, or you can set it to do whatever you want it to do. There that is. Got buttons there, dual readouts. Comes with K-type thermocouple, and this is a ceramic insulator and a ceramic base plate, your thermocouple. Solid state relay, and a heat sink for that solid state relay. So this is, I'll definitely be doing a video about this. Anyways, this is for heat treating my AK receivers and stuff like that, where I can have a little bit better control over it. Thanks. Let's do another unboxing. I go a little while without doing any, and then I get a few all in a row. Oh, look at that. I'm opening it where y'all can't see in here. Let's get all this crap out. Bum, bum, bum. This is a forearm that is actually going to be going on a 300 blackout that I'm building. The barrel that you all saw, the stainless steel barrel that was in the barrel porn video. This is the forearm that's going on it. I really like this forearm because you know how I am about modularity and how I don't prefer a quad rail. With this forearm, you have your 1913, you have your top rail, you have good ventilation, it's good and sturdy, it's a little bit heavier than my Samson. As a matter of fact, before I say that, let me make sure I'm giving it a fair shake here. Yeah, it's a little heavier than my Samson. Of course, it's one of the things, it has a quad rail on the end. It's built onto it. And then these areas here are threaded to where you can add rail sections as you see fit, and Yankee Hill has a few proprietary pieces that can go there. But you can always come in here and fabricate something, you know, with the right back washer or whatever to go in here. You can do whatever you want there. It's a nice setup, and something that, you know, that's really just a selling point on this for me is that this forearm is under $150. It is a modular, tubular style forearm for the AR-15, and in the rifle length, barrel nut, got your rail sections, top rail, it is under $150. That's a big deal, because so many of these modular forearms and everything are well in excess of $150. You know, they're getting up around $200 or whatever. They just get really expensive. Something else that I like, well, I'll tell you here in a second. Let me get an actual measurement here. We are 12 inches on this one. Now, my Samson is 15 inches, and it's lighter than this one. That's fine. What I'm going to do, instead of bothering getting the Samson down, or getting my 3G with the Samson down, we're just going to walk over to it here. Something that I want to show you that I do like about the Yankee Hill is, you see this area right here on the Samson? See this big thick lug right there? That one? You actually have one here too. But that big old thick lug on that
On this one, you don't have that. You've got a short one. And so the thing with that is that if you, I'm not sure how all the spacing and everything will go on it, but normally you would have, like on the other ones, you have this one line is not here. And that's just one more place, one more option that you have that you can adjust your scope mounting options, whatever it may be that you need. They've got it's a pretty sturdy and nice looking barrel nut. I like this. Now the way that their system works is you have your barrel nut and you see the internal threads here. Those thread on and hold your barrel on just like normal. And then you're going to thread your handguard onto the barrel nut. Now once it's threaded on, you have 2 bits of hardware that are right up there that came with it, and they go in to the lug on either side. And the end of those will rest in these notches. You'll have to index it properly and get it all, where it lines up right. That's a pretty sturdy system. I really like that. As a matter of fact, I may like that more than the way the Samson rail is set up. The Samson rail, as you've seen in some of my videos, or if you haven't, go watch them. It uses a clamping system on the bottom. You've got two Allen keys, and you've got a clamp, and it just squeezes it with the use of 2 keys. Hey, it's sturdy as it can be. It's one of the premier forearms out there. But I don't know, I think maybe this might be a little better. Of course, it is heavier. So you've got trade-offs there. Trade-offs with everything. But anyways, that's this unboxing. Stay tuned for the 300 blackout build. It's coming up.